Welcome to AP Workshops and welcome to our three-part mini-series about tuning parts that are available for your Aprilia product. Welcome back to AP Workshops and welcome back to part one of our three-part tuning series. So the tuning series is going to basically give you a description of exactly the parts that you can get hold of for your Aprilia product. Part one is going to be for the V-twin product. Part two is going to be for the V4 product. Part three is going to be about chains and gearing, because it's such a big subject by itself and it's so subjective that we're going to kind of do that little part by itself. So what we're going to do is give you a basic rundown of the parts that we sell and the parts that are sort of readily available in our shop on our website to help tune and augment the performance of your V-twin product in this particular series. So this is, like I said, these parts are available on our website. They're available in the shop, no problems. And these parts are all pretty much readily available, no questions. And these will all benefit road and track riders. So what I'm going to do is go through them individually and give you a bit of a sort of a rundown on what they do, the results that we've got, and kind of go into it in a little bit more depth. So I'm not going to rattle on for too long, otherwise I'll be here forever, but basically we're going to start from this side and work our way around here. Okay, so this is all for Gen 1, Gen 2 V-twin products. So we're going to start off with airbox kits. So we sell what's commonly known as an Evo style airbox kits. There are other kits available, no problems. They all pretty much do the same thing. They increase the capacity of the airbox. They turn the underside of the tank into the top side of the airbox. So they increase the capacity of the airbox, effectively allowing a larger reservoir of cold pressurized air for the engine to gulp from. So this particular one here, this kit is for a Gen 2. In this kit you get a gasket, which is the part that seals on the bottom part of the airbox, the frame to hold the gasket in place, and a brand new K&N air filter. We've also got the kits here available for Gen 1. This kit here comes with a slightly taller air filter with capped off at the top. So in this one, there's a few people ask me questions about this one. So when you actually put the tank down, the air filter is held in place by the base of the tank. So that's what that's there for. So that's airbox kits, basically, nicely and cheap, very, very easy, very, very effective. You tend to get more gains in the mid-range than you do in the top end when you're talking about airbox kits. So the next part that we're going to talk about is collector and exhaust modifications. I haven't got an exhaust here to show, but we all kind of know exactly what's going on with exhausts. It's quite well documented that short exhausts create problems. Whether you like it or not, they do. There's proof on dynos. You can see that effectively short exhausts look and sound great, noisy, great, but they do create, and it does create, a problem with smooth running effectively. The lower down the rev range, the smaller the exhaust, the smaller and the shorter the exhaust, it tends to create problems with fueling low down. The longer and more sort of refined the exhaust tends to be, the smoother the fueling tends to be. You might lose a little bit of power at the top end, but it tends to be where you sit with your bike most of the time, which is sort of part throttle, quarter throttle, on and off when you're riding around town. A slightly longer exhaust with a slightly smaller aperture at the back does tend to smooth out that fueling. Now this here is a collector modification, what we call the red rat bike. Our friend Mark, he actually sort of makes these for us. You can get in touch with him yourself via rsvr.net, or you can get in touch with us via here and we'll be able to sort you out. So this is a collector modification. The collector modification has two extra pipes. This is a standard 01203 collector, and it has two extra pipes welded into here. Now this effectively acts as, these are called scavenge pipes, so this basically helps improve and boost mid-range performance again. So this is really, really effective. And once you've actually bolted one of these in, you can see up to, like, with a, you know, with correction, you can see like up to 10 brake horsepower. These work really, really well. This brings us on to Gen 1 guys only. That's the phone, we'll get that, don't worry. This brings us down to EPROMs. Now EPROMs hold the fueling and ignition tables for Gen 1 engine management systems. These are pre-programmed with a better map to take into consideration any adjustments that we might make. If you have a look on our website, it gives you a brief description of which EPROM to use for what kind of modifications, and also if you are one of the subscribers to the YouTube channel, you can see that we also have another film that we've made about fitting them and what EPROMs fit what with what modifications, so you can see all of that there if you go back to one of our other films, no problems. The only other way to improve the fueling on that would be to have a bespoke map made. Now power commanders, doesn't matter what anybody says, because everybody's got an opinion on this particular subject as well, as it seems.
That's my opinion!
But basically, power commanders on the V-twin product work really, really well. Wow. Now as it sits, each individual V-twin engine, or the Rotax V990 engine, tends to have its own personality. Each one is different. So by adjusting the standard specification of that particular bike, you then change the mapping or the fueling and basically the power characteristics. You can then take your bike to a dyno, get this adjusted, or get the power commander mapped correctly by your dyno operator to take into consideration any of those adjustments. There's two types of maps. If you run one of these, this is a pre-C3 USB, there's two types of maps you can have built by your dyno operator. It's just not worth downloading them off the internet because each individual engine is different. Two types of maps. There's what's known as a custom map and there's what's known as an advanced map. The custom map basically is where your dyno operator will put a pipe down the end of the exhaust and will map the engine in its entirety. An advanced map, which is the one where you get the best performance out of your bike, or best performance out of your engine, sorry, is where you have the ability on your particular bike to map each individual cylinder. If you have a look in your downpipes, about 4 to 6 inches away from the actual exhaust manifold, you have a 5mm Allen key bung basically in the pipe. You take that out, you put an adapter in and you measure, or you take your exhaust sample from there and you will sample each individual cylinder. You will build a map for each individual cylinder. That type of mapping can prove to be quite effective. That will give you better performance, that will give you more power. Slightly more expensive to build obviously because of the time involved in it, but it does work really, really well.
Speed and power. Speed, 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 speed. Real speed. Ramming speed. Raw, naked speed.
Now then, starting to get to the things where we're not kind of bolting on stuff for basically for performance gains, but we're starting to use or starting to gain with what's actually there. Now here we have clutch kits. The standard clutch kits in the V990 product are starting to wear out. So what we sell is basically a clutch kit, a performance clutch kit. The EBC brakes with the Barnett heavy duty springs have been proven on a dyno to take up to 170 brake horsepower. We tested this on our dyno with our nitrous bike, so we basically filled the bike full of nitrous, it dynoed up to 169.8 brake horsepower, something along those lines, quite close to that, and that clutch still held. So this kit here works really, really well. That will stop and that will make sure that the power that your engine is delivering is getting to the floor. It isn't quite a performance upgrade, but I don't know if you can see this kind of stuff. Perhaps we'll have to sort of shoot to a little sort of, but this is the clutch jet. This helps you get your bike into neutral at a standstill. It is a performance upgrade because it just helps with clutch changing and gear changing, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to put it in here anyway, but again, we have done another film for that one. If you want to have a quick look back, if you put into the search bar at the top of YouTube AP Workshops clutch, it will tell you about clutch jet, how to fit that clutch jet. So it's all very well and good making your bike go well, you've got to make it stop well. Okay, brake pads, effectively, brake pad compound. This is a bit of a bone of contention as it sits in this one, because there's a lot of people that will actually kind of argue the toss about this one. But brake pads are like tyres, tyre compounds, tyre manufacturers. Everybody's got their opinion on it. Everybody's entitled to their opinion on it. Everybody's got their experience on it, and it works an absolute treat. but if you're going to make your bike go well, don't forget you've got to make it stop well. So basically we are looking for some different type of compound brake pads. We sell a few different types of compounds, there's a few different types of brake pads in our shop. The basic kind of standard fast road going is what's known as a double H compound, which is a sinter compound. The compound of the brake pad has a metal fused within the actual sort of friction material, which actually helps control heat and actually controls the feel of the brakes. There is carbon composite ones as well, again, but you do, like I said, they are slightly different and they do have a trade-off. Everybody's got their opinion on it. If you're not sure, no problems, just give us a shout at the shop, we'll be able to help you out with that one, no problems. The other one that we've got is, again, if we're going to use, some people find that, that the V-twin product has quite a long throw on the throttle, so we sell Akasato quick action throttles. Now the reason we sell, we'll probably get Amber to cut for this one a little bit, so but the reason we sell these quick action throttles is because these guys come with quite thick grips for whatever reason you want to talk about it, but these grips feel quite nice. That connection between yourself and the bike makes a difference. It comes with 3 different cams so you can change the throw, and it comes, most importantly, with a fitting kit. The fitting kit for Gen 2 only, unfortunately, but it comes with a fitting kit that works, because universal fitting kits are a pain in the backside. Okay, this would probably take you about 10 minutes to fit as it sits once you've actually got the tank up out of the way. Universal fitting kits, you've probably got an hour to an hour and a half's worth of work to fit a universal fitting kit. Gen 2 guys, these work really well. For everybody, these work really well. No problems, get stuck in on those ones. So the best modification, and the one we're not going to go into right here because that's going to be part 3 of our tuning series, is effectively gearing. Okay, this has got such a massive sort of scope for discussion that we're probably going to, like I said, we are going to put this into its own little thing. But changing your gear ratios. Now then, gear ratios, Gen 1 and Gen 2. The bikes were overgeared. As standard, the bikes were overgeared. So Gen 1 came with 1742 gearing. The bike, if you were to be able to, if you had the ability to be able to hold it flat out, would probably sit flat out in top gear at about 7,000 RPM and wouldn't rev any harder. The reason being is the bike was overgeared. They overgeared the bike from the factory as standard in order to get the bike through noise testing, drive-by noise testing. So if you put a 16 tooth front on the front of on the front sprocket, change your front sprocket on a Gen 1 to a 16 tooth, it revs out a lot cleaner, feels much better, and basically a 16 tooth front sprocket for your bike costs 19 quid. Just best bang for your buck, best modification you can make, bar none. On a Gen 2, they came through as 1640. If you put a 15 tooth on the front, if you go down 1 tooth on that one, it again will rev out. It feels much better and basically makes the bike feel like it should do. Don't go any smaller than 15 because the return on the chain will start to rub on the chain slipper, wear it out, and effectively in worse circumstances we've actually seen, because the sprocket is so small, the chain actually rubs on the top of the swinging arm, starts to wear out that slipper and can start to chew through your swinging arm. So 15 is the smallest you want to go for on these ones. We recommend a 525 chain for the road and for the track. If you're going to build a race bike and you're going racing, then definitely 520 is the way to go because you'll save weight. 520 chains don't give you more power. We've tested it on dynos. The 525s, O-rings don't take any power away. We've tested it on dynos again, so I've got absolute evidence that I can look you in the eye and tell you that. But if you want to save weight, then a 520 conversion is the way to go. No questions whatsoever. Okay. So this here, briefly, was some of the tuning products that we've got for your Gen 1 and Gen 2 V-twin product. If you have any questions, you can email us, sales@apworkshops.co.uk. You can get in touch with us via all of the social media platforms. I'm sure we'll be able to get back to you as quick as we can. But emails get answered every morning by Snox himself. And you will get an answer back as soon as we get back in, no questions whatsoever. No problems. If you've got any questions, if you want to leave us a comment down below, flash us an email, no dramas. If you like what you see, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Push the little notification button and you'll get a notification every time we put up a new film. Don't forget, part 2 of the series is coming up. That's V4 tuning. Part 3 is all about chain and sprockets and how that works and kind of the science behind it, proofs and dynos, all that kind of stuff that we've done before. Take care of yourselves. It's pretty snowy out there at the moment, but I'm sure the guys down in the southern hemisphere are really enjoying their summer. I've seen some great pictures today. You guys all there, take care when you're riding. We'll talk to you soon.
Snort! Oh, what are you doing?
I'm not getting ready for the cannonball run. We're just getting some infantry. Come on through. We've got 2 options. I can either keep this hat on, what do you think? Or... Right, so Griff was on about the tuning parts. We just had a big shipment of the rental sprockets, which go on there. Had a few DID chains delivered, V4, V-twin stuff. Highly recommended by us in the workshop. So, with the tuning parts, Griff's gone through it all. I think you're aware that we've probably got a tuning section on the website, if we can have a look at that. Load of stock on here, big bore kits, airbox kits, EPROMs for the early bikes, Arrow exhaust systems, that's all good. With the tuning section, we're also trying to do our best to make sure that all of you know exactly where you stand, what to do and what don't to do. So what we're doing up here is we have added a section where we've got all the standard gearing for your bikes. What I'd like to do is keep your eye on that section, because we're going to update it and we're going to give you all our recommended sprockets for these bikes that just make them a little bit more perky. So keep your eye up there. We're going to have some great information coming on that one as well. Nice one.